Hello and welcome to Health and Wellbeing. I'm Jane Farnham. A survey of British older women and their partners has shown that 70% say their sex lives suffer due to vaginal atrophy. Now, this is a chronic condition which affects 45% of women who have reached the menopause. It can have disastrous consequences for their sex lives, relationships and marriages, as well as their physical and mental health. Joining me today is Dr. Heather Currie and Kathryn, who suffered from vaginal atrophy herself. Welcome to the show, ladies. Thanks for coming along. Now, Kathryn, you've suffered with vaginal atrophy. Tell me a little bit about the symptoms and what it's like.
Yes, well, as the study shows, the closer study, that a lot of women will be experiencing, 50% of them. So, millions of women just in this country. And the symptoms are soreness when you're having sex, really painful sex. I described it like a carpet burn, and I thought I had a disease. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't even know it had a name. And so when I did find out, it was just a magic moment, because I found out what the treatment was, what I could use, that it was very efficient, very quick to work, and that it just made such a total difference to my life.
How long did it take you to go and see the doctor?
Oh gosh, years till I found out. Must have been 5 or 6 years.
And how did you find out then, if you hadn't been to the doctor?
Well, I'd started going to medical conferences because I had to find out about this thing called menopause, and is this as good as it gets, because I thought my life was misery itself at the time. And there was somebody speaking about it, and I'm busy writing notes, and I had a eureka moment and said, "Crikey, that's talking about me." So it has a name, and their treatments are available. So off I went to see my doctor then.
So Dr. Currie, the treatments, tell us a little bit about those, and is what Kathryn went through completely normal?
It's very common, sadly. Many women do not realise that the vaginal dryness, the technical term vaginal atrophy, is related to hormones and related to our body becoming low in estrogen, and particularly since it often starts a few years after the menopause, after the periods have stopped, so they often don't associate it with hormonal at all. Treatments are available and very effective. So the treatment specifically for the vaginal dryness, for the vaginal changes, the dryness itself can be helped by moisturisers and lubricants. So there are many good products available that you can buy over the counter. But to correct the underlying changes due to the lack of estrogen, we can use vaginal estrogen, which is a very low dose of hormone, which helps to restore the circulation, the thickness of the skin in the vagina, the stretchability, and all the things that go along with that.
It's magic.
And did you try these?
Yeah, it's just magic. The difference is night and day.
Wow.
You just you're going from this stage of not wanting to have sex because it's so painful, having rows with your partner all the time, and they're feeling rejected and left out, to a wonderful feeling of enjoying sex again.
Now, Dr. Currie, the closer study suggested that 50% of British women are less likely to receive treatment for vaginal atrophy. Why is that?
Yes, it is. That was a very sad result from the survey, and in the British women, those who had vaginal atrophy, only 21% were actually receiving vaginal estrogen, whereas compared to the overall results from the including European and North American countries, it was 41%. So we're half as likely for our women to be treated. And I think there are several reasons. One is that there is this huge embarrassment about the vagina, about below the waist, and it's often referred to as down below. And so not only among women, but among healthcare professionals as well, there is this resistance to ask about this very embarrassing, sensitive topic. And we really hope that publication of this study will raise awareness of the condition and will encourage women to seek help, and will encourage health professionals to ask appropriate questions when having a menopausal discussion, when women attending for smears or any other opportunity. I do believe also that women are unaware that this can be treated, and they often see it as an inevitable consequence of growing older. And so again, hopefully with the publicity around this study, that will raise awareness that it can be treated and they don't have to suffer.
Okay, there are other symptoms, of course, linked to the menopause, aren't there? What are those?
Yeah, so this is all again due to estrogen deficiency. So while we often focus on the menopause, which is the last period, the periods stop because our ovaries stop working, we become low in estrogen. And so the earliest sign of that are often the flushes, the sweats that people are very well aware of, but often they're not aware of some of the more subtle changes such as mood changes, anxiety, irritability, difficulty coping, difficulty concentrating, disturbed sleep, joint aches. So these can all be part of the early stage of the estrogen deficiency, and then a few years later down the line we often get the symptoms as Kathryn's described, which affects the vagina and in many women also the bladder.
Wow, I mean it can last for quite some time as well, can't it, Kathryn?
What, vaginal atrophy?
The whole
menopause thing, yes, can go on for years, up to 15 years, I've
And
read.
are women aware of that, do you think?
No.
Why do we not know this?
That's one of the first questions they ask. How long does it last? So, and do I have to have it is another one. Yes, it's a natural biological process and every woman will have it. How severely you will be affected is just a matter of course. But knowing about it early will help you cope with it and not suffer. Why should we suffer? Why do we go through this and say, well, I've just got to put up with it? No, you don't have to put up with it. There are remedies out there.
And did you suffer the other symptoms ahead of the atrophy, the vaginal atrophy?
Yes, all that stuff. I was depressed and didn't realise, but that's hormonal depression. It's not generally not a mental health issue. And again, it's just a tsunami effect of all these things affecting you.
It can really get you down.
Yes, it gets you down and you...
So if you had one bit of advice for somebody who's just starting the menopause or who is yet to experience it, what would you say?
Oh gosh, only if only I knew then what I know now, of course. But yes, find out everything there is to know. There are websites out there. There's a lot of information on the website, and you're not necessarily looking for product-related things. You're just looking for information to just make you feel better about yourself. And
so research, communication,
and it's not hard. We're not asking you to go to school and take an exam. It's just basic stuff, really.
Don't be shy. It's completely normal.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, well, unfortunately, ladies, we have run out of time, thanks to Dr. Heather Currie and also to Kathryn Colas. And if you're suffering with any of those symptoms that we've been talking about, then you should first consult your GP. Any more information, then you can go to the websites menopausematters.co.uk or simplyhormones.com. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.